Hi all PMP aspirants, I am Pratibha and I am here with my next video in Agile series, and the topic which we are going to discuss today is common Agile practices. The practices which we are going to discuss today are retrospective, backlog preparation and its refinement, daily stand-up, and finally the reviews in the Agile. Now, talking about our first practice, which is retrospective. What is retrospective? Retrospective is basically a ceremony in which all the team members, product owner, scrum master, and all internal team members come together to discuss about what went well in the last sprint and what as a team could have been improved. So the main focus of this exercise is to reflect upon the work which the team has done in the last sprint and identify the areas of improvement. So retrospective is basically an exercise or a ceremony which allows the team to learn, improve and adapt. Second thing is how frequently we should have these retrospective exercise. So we should conduct them at the end of 2 weeks iteration. So this is the usual practice that we should do it at regular intervals at the end of 2 weeks iteration. But now it is not important or it's not necessary that all the team can do their or should wait to held their retrospective at the end of their sprint, or it is also not necessary that all the team would have a sprint which has a duration of 2 weeks. So what are the key times where team can decide to retrospect? So we have mentioned here for those areas when team can decide to retrospect. So first is whenever team has released or shipped something. So whenever team feels that it is ready to release any working product or part of that working product and it is ready to ship that product, then team can decide to have a retrospective so that they can look upon their work, they can reflect upon their work and identify the areas of improvement. Second thing is when more than few weeks have passed. So the team have not reflected upon their work since the last retrospective, and there have been few weeks that has got passed. So it becomes very important for the team to relax, look back at the work they have done and understand or at least try to find out those areas of improvement. Uh, yeah. So now coming to the third point, which is whenever the team is stuck and the completed work is not flowing. So there are many times when within the sprint team is not able to deliver a working product, or maybe the team is facing some impediments, some obstacles. Because of that, completed working product is not flowing. So they are stuck at some stage. In order to find out the solution of those impediments, those obstacles, then also team can decide to have a retrospective so that they all can gather together and discuss upon the problem areas which they are facing. So that is another key time when team can decide to retrospect. Another area or another time is whenever the team has achieved any other milestone. Then also team can decide to have a retrospective. So another thing which we need to understand about retrospective is that it is not necessary to have them always at the end of the iteration. If the team is stuck, like in this case, and if the completed work is not flowing, then in the middle of the iteration also, team can decide to have a retrospective. So it is not necessary that in every case you do it at the end of the iteration. You can do it in the middle of your running iteration as well, provided you have some of these conditions which we just discussed. Now, another important point which we need to understand about retrospective is that it is not about playing a blame game or fixing any accountability. It is about reflecting upon the work which the team has done in last few weeks, appreciate the areas where the team has done well, and also find out the areas where team could have improved. So it is not about fixing accountability, it is about improving as a team. So this is the one thing which we need to understand about retrospective. Now another important thing which we need to understand about retrospective is whenever you have identified certain areas of improvement. So let's say I have identified 5 items in my list of improvement. What is not important for me as an agile team is to work upon all these areas in one go. But what is important for me is to pick certain items, either one item or 2 items, looking at my capacity, looking at the velocity of my team. Pick those items of improvement which I want to take up, which I want to execute in the next sprint, and then assess the performance of that area of improvement which has got executed. So whenever I am picking these items, the facilitator or the product manager or the scrum master can discuss it with the development team, and they can rank these items which are listed in area of improvement, and basis that they can pick certain items from the list which are valued high and execute them in the next iteration. When you have executed them, it is very important to assess the performance of that area of improvement, monitor its progress, and also monitor the success and failure of that area of improvement. Once that is being executed, once those particular items are being executed, then team can decide to take up more items from this list, the remaining items in the list, and they can execute it into the subsequent iterations or subsequent sprints. So this is about retrospective. When we speak about retrospective, what you need to understand is it's not about putting any blame game to any other member. It is about finding the areas of improvement, reflecting upon the work that have been done, appreciate the team member on the good work that has been done, and also identify the areas of improvement and improve as a team together. So this is the one thing which we need to understand. Whenever I am picking any item for improvement, it is also important to rank them, and it is also important to pick few items to be developed or to be executed in the next sprint, and then assess its performance, and the team can take the help of facilitator into this exercise. The usual practice is to do it at regular intervals so that team can reflect upon the work they have done and improve from it. And the usual practice is to do it in each 2 weeks, and there are certain key times which we have just discussed. Then also team can decide to have their retrospective sessions or ceremonies conducted. The next practice which we have in our today's list is backlog preparation and its refinement. So what is backlog firstly? What is product backlog? So product backlog is basically a list of all the work items or all the features which the product which the product should have or would have in the future, and which the development team is going to develop in the future. The important feature about, or the unique feature about product backlog is uh, all those items or all those features which are having a highest value for the customer are always kept at the top of the, or top of that product backlog, and all those items which has lower value are kept at the bottom, or they are featured at the bottom of the product backlog. So it is basically ordered basis the value of the features which is there in the product, or which is going to be there in the product. Now, another thing which we need to understand about product backlog is it is a living document. So as long as the product exists, the product backlog will always exist. So it is the responsibility of the product owner to keep this particular document updated, and to keep it updated, and also keep it in that order based on the ranking of those features. Now, what we have mentioned here is that backlog is basically a ordered list of all the work or all the features which the product will have in the future. Now, why the highest priority feature are always kept at the top? They are always kept at the top because they are the first one to get developed by the development team. Now you will ask me why the development team is developing the highest value feature first in the product. The answer to it lies into one of the agile principle, and that says that agile team always deliver the working software to the client at the earliest stage. So you are trying to develop, you are trying to give a developed working product to your client at the early stage, which is valued by him. So all those features which the client considers must be there into the product should always be developed first into the product, and then the lower priority features can come into development in the later stages or in the later sprints. Now, these backlog items are always presented in the story form. So, so it is not important to develop the story for all the items which is there in the product backlog, but it is being recommended that stories should have been created at least for those items which are to be developed in the next 2 weeks or in the next 2 sprints, so that even if the product owner is not available or he is absent from the project, then the development team do not have any dependency on him. So the stories should have always been refined to the stage of at least next 2 weeks. Now, who is responsible to develop this backlog? Product owner is the one who is responsible for backlog preparation. Now, some of you might think, why product owner, why not scrum master, why not development team? Reason being, we have discussed in our last videos, product owner is the one who is the face of the team, who is actually engaging with stakeholders, customers, and he understands, because he is the SME, he understands the value of the features which the product is going to have. So that is why the responsibility of preparing the backlog also lies with product owner, because he is the one who understands the requirement of the customer as he engages with them or interacts with them very, very closely. Now, another agile practice which we are going to discuss today is backlog refinement. So what is backlog refinement? Backlog refinement is the process of creating stories in order for development team to develop them. So you have a list of items in the backlog. You need to create stories, user stories, so that development team can read those stories, understand them and develop them. Now, uh, again, who is responsible for backlog refinement? So primarily it is the responsibility of the product owner, but product owner can engage with the team to develop these stories. Now product owner can adopt different ways to develop these stories. He can engage with the development team and he can closely work with them, explore the various ideas through which a user story can be developed and develop it. Second thing is product owner can also encourage development team to work in the tripads of scrum master or product manager, business analyst, tester, the remaining development team which is there. So they work together and develop user story. So product owner can also encourage development team to participate in the process of user story making. Third thing which the product owner can do is he can actually present the overall story idea to the team, and then team can work upon it and develop smaller stories out of it which they can work upon. So it is completely dependent upon the approach which the product owner wants to take with the development team in order to develop these stories. There can be different ways. Each product owner can have his own way to get it developed with the development team, or get into a collaborative arrangement with the development team in order to get these user stories developed. Now, again, how frequently the team should do this backlog refinement? Ideally, it should be time boxed in 1 hour in every 2 week iteration, or in every 2 weeks of sprint. Team should give 1 hour, not more than this. Now, why there is a time box of 1 hour? Because development team needs to focus more of their time in the execution rather than just planning for the next sprints. So it is very important for development team to have a time box of 1 hour in 2 week sprint. Even let's say if the team is new to the idea or to the problem area or the feature which they are going to develop, then they can have these multiple rounds of backlog refinement meetings. But what is being recommended and what is always remains the goal of agile team is to not spend more than 1 hour in each week for these backlog refinements. Because if the team is spending more time in just planning, then they would be left with little lesser time for the execution of the features that they are going to develop. So the team needs to focus more on the execution part. Therefore, planning time needs to be time boxed, and not more than 1 hour in each week. Usual practice is to have a 1 hour time box in the 2 week iteration. So you can do the backlog refinement in regular intervals, but keep it time boxed. And for the flow based agile team, they can decide to do their backlog refinement in just-in-time approach. So what just-in-time approach says is, whenever team is ready to pick up new features and develop it, at that point in time only they can decide to do the refinement of their backlog and develop these user stories. So this can be done. Again, if the idea is new, or if the problem which the team, or the feature which the team is going to develop is new for them, if they are not familiar with it, or if they are also not sure of the dependencies on the work or on the features which they are going to develop, then product owner and team can decide to have spikes in those cases. So they can do a prototype creation or an architectural spike depending upon the demand of that situation, and create the prototype of it before taking up those new features. So this is about backlog refinement. What we have discussed is, the important point is the responsibility lies with product owner. Product owner can engage with the development team for the backlog refinement process. They can develop the user story together. It should be time boxed, 1 hour time box in 2-week iteration. Flow based agile team can do it in just-in-time approach, with just-in-time approach. And if the team is new to the idea, they can do the spikes as well. So now moving on to our second last practice of the day, which is a very popular practice in Agile, and that is daily stand-up. So what is daily stand-up meeting? Firstly, as the name suggests, it happens on daily basis. Here the team tries to uncover any problem which they are facing. They also try to micro commit their work to each other, and also, as I just mentioned, uncover any dependency or uncover any obstacle, impediment which they are facing, and understand if the work is not flowing. So all those problems, impediments needs to be highlighted into this daily meeting which team is having. Important aspect about this daily stand up is it needs to be time boxed at 15 minutes. This is a very strict practice which needs to be followed. That daily stand up meeting is not a status meeting. It is a meeting to uncover problems, to micro commit to each other, to understand how team is doing, if they are facing any problem. And it should be strictly time boxed to 15 minutes on daily basis. Now, what we do into this daily stand up. So if your team is following iteration based agile, the team will ask, or each team member will answer 3 questions, 3 standard questions. First is, what did I complete since the last meeting? What am I planning to complete between now and the next stand-up meeting? And if there is any impediment, any problem, any risk which the team is facing. So these are the 3 standard questions which the team answers just to uncover if they are facing any problem and micro commit the work which they are doing to each other. In the flow based agile, team goes opposite. So team goes in the Kanban board from right to left. So here in the iteration based agile, they are going from left to right. They are looking at the pending items, WIP items, and then they will talk about completed items. In the flow based agile, they move in the opposite direction. So they start with completed items, and the question which they ask is, what do we need to finish as a team? Another question which they ask, Is there anyone working on anything which is not present on the Kanban board? Another question which they would ask with each other is, and they would answer is, if there is any impediment or obstacle they are facing. And last question which a flow-based agile team would ask itself is, what they need to do as a team together to advance any piece of work which lies into your WIP list. So this is about daily stand-up. Two important points which we need to understand about daily stand-up is that most of the time it actually falls into an NT pattern because people understand it as a status meeting. So daily stand-ups are not status meetings. All those people who are familiar with predictive or waterfall approaches, they might think that they can extend this meeting beyond that time box of 15 minutes, and they might have this curiosity to solve each and every problem which has got highlighted into daily stand-up by extending this meeting. But this is not a correct practice. Agile team strictly follows a time box of 15 minutes for these daily stand-up meeting, and the objective remains the same. The objective of this meeting is to uncover problem, not to find solutions of those problems. If you want to explore the solutions or discuss that problem in detail, then you can keep those impediments, obstacle in parking lot and discuss it in the next meeting. So you can organize the next meeting right after this stand up and discuss all those obstacles which the team is facing in that next meeting. So avoid this NT pattern. Second thing which can be done as a practice to avoid this NT pattern is, rather than Scrum Master, Product Owner or Product Manager facilitating this team, development team itself should facilitate the meeting. Because what happens sometimes when Product Owner or Product Manager facilitates this meeting, they turn it into a longer meeting. They actually get into that NT pattern of turning this daily stand-up as a status meeting. So to avoid that NT pattern to happen, start with the practice of development team facilitating this meeting. Now the last practice which we have in our today's list is reviews. Another very important aspect about agile practices. So what are reviews? Reviews are periodic demonstration of the working software or the features that has got developed by the team to the customer, to the stakeholders in order to take their feedback. So the two things which you need to remember about review is, first, it is a demonstration of the work which is being done by the development team, and second is, this demo is being done in order to take the regular feedback at regular intervals from the customer in order to understand if the team is going in the right direction or wrong direction. Now iteration based agile team can do this demonstration at the end of each iteration. Flow based agile teams can do these demonstration whenever the developed working features have developed or have gathered into a coherent set that they can give a demonstration to their customer, product owner and other stakeholder and gather their feedback. And usual practice again is to have them in 2 weeks at regular intervals so that team can tune its work basis the feedback received from the customer. One of the important principle about agile practice is that team should be able to deliver the working software at regular intervals. This would be possible only if the team is taking the feedback from their customer, from the stakeholders on regular intervals. So that is why reviews are very, very important. And that's it from my side for today. Um, in case if you like my video, please do share your feedback. We will be coming up with more such videos on agile topics. So please stay tuned and please do keep sharing your feedback with me. Thank you so much.